Everyone's familiar with cast iron pans, especially when you're camping, but what if you could get the cast iron qualities in a lighter weight pan? We're going to go over two pans today, the GSI Outdoors and the OXO carbon steel pan. You have found Explorer Trek Adventure with Kelly and Greg. We cover everything camping from backpacking to adventure vans. These carbon steel pans have all the great features of cast iron, except for they are lighter in weight, so they definitely heat up faster. You can use them on induction stoves, propane stoves, campfires, and even in the oven. When it comes to cast iron, the more you use it and take care of it and season it, the more non-stick it gets. And that's the same as with carbon steel. When it comes to cleaning carbon steel pans, it's just like cast iron. We actually have this cool little OXO tool. It's got a little scraper on this side and also a stiffer one on this side, but really tough stuff, it has this metal scraper and you just scrape it right off. We also have a chain mail, and we actually, for the really tough stuff, we use that to scrub off the pans. Now at home we use this Merten Storck pan, but unfortunately it has one drawback, this long handle that is not detachable. So luckily with these pans, when we put them in here, this OXO handle, it actually comes right off. Take that off, put it up in there, and we still use the little pad in between. The GSI Outdoor one, it actually folds right into it. Then shut it up, put our handle in our drawer when we need it, done. Now when it comes to the handles, yes, they are removable, but there is a little bit of a downside to them. With the OXO one, when you put it on, it is not a tight fit. It can be a little bit, as Greg calls it, sloppy. And he has actually had a time when he was flipping over something and dumping it out where he had touched this and it almost completely came out. Luckily it did not. And then with this one, sometimes when you're grabbing it, it will want to come out completely like that. And then you have to try to squeeze it. But I mean, yes, it is detachable, but you don't really want to do that.
I'm going to show you the pans that we had been using, but first let me show you this IKEA hot pad we found. It's silicone, but it also has a nice feature of if you stick your pan down there and you pick it up, the hot pad goes with it. And when you're moving around in the van, everything's really tight. It just makes it easier to keep things from burning down. Just remember this is on there before you stick it on the stove. That would be bad. We had been using this Sensarte pan set, and it has a great feature because all these handles are removable, and in the van it's fantastic. It has a really nice handle and makes it super easy to grip. The only downfall that we have is we've been moving away from any kind of coating whatsoever. Now let's compare the weights. This is a Sensarte pan with the handle, and we are at 1 pound 8 ounces. The GSI carbon steel, it is also 1 pound 8 ounces roughly. And here we go with the cast iron. It is 3 pounds 3 ounces. So you can see there's a significant difference between the cast iron and the carbon steel. We do really like the cast iron, but the weight penalty in the van is not worth it. You really got to cook a little bit differently when you're going between cast iron and carbon steel. On the cast iron, they're so thick, they take a long time to heat up, and then once they heat up, they kind of hold that heat. But at the carbon steel side, they are thinner and they heat up super fast. It's almost like aluminum. They heat up like lightning fast, or stainless steel pans. You just got to be super careful that you are not going to fry your food immediately. We recently picked up these GSI carbon steel pans at the Overland Expo. We're still in the process of even seasoning them, so that we have some more testing to do with these. But just to know that these are significantly heavier than our other carbon steel pans. They kind of act like, you know, a normal cast iron pan. But we will be interested to see how they perform. We do like their handle. It's this nice big aluminum handle. It's removable. The big difference with these pans that I noticed right away, and I did this on accident, is one of the first times I was cooking on an induction stove and had one of the carbon steel pans, is I had it on my normal temperatures, which normally I usually cook on medium high or high, sometimes even up on sear. And I was just like, oh my God, this thing is totally frying all the food. I ended up moving it down to this section. I was just cooking stuff on medium instead of high. These pans can utilize this induction stove and use like way less power. We're going to compare how these two pans, our old ones and the new carbon steels, will boil 2 cups of water. So let's get this thing plugged in. Let's start with our old Sensarte pans. We'll go for 2 cups. The stove's set to 1300 watts. Let's set it on max and start. To get to a rolling boil, it took 4 minutes and 59 seconds. All right, now for the 8-inch GSI, 1300 max, start. They do also make a 10-inch skillet. I'm gonna say right off the bat is I prefer this OXO pan to the GSI. I don't know. It has a little bit nicer finish. I think it's a smoother finish. This kind of almost has like a little bit of ridges to it, where this one just cooks a little nicer. We're just about ready to hit the 2-minute mark and we already have bubbles coming up. We hit a rolling boil at 2 minutes and 36 seconds. So you can see that is a massive difference between the two pans. When you think about it energy-wise, we're pulling 122 amps at 12 volts to get that hot sear on this stove and running it for, nearly 2 minutes less. Major energy savings. I'm gonna throw this water outside, but this handle is not even warm to the touch. If you're cooking a long time, the handle does get slightly warm, but for doing short cooking jumps, it's not bad at all. Now to see if there's any differences between the two pans, the GSI and the OXO, we got our 2 cups. We got max, start, see what we get. We just passed the 2 minutes 36, which the other pan did. This one is starting to bubble. We're getting close, but it's definitely a little bit slower. And I think this pan might be a little thicker if I were to guess. The OXO took 3 minutes and 26 seconds to boil 2 cups of water, and that was at the max temperatures. That's a good minute longer than the GSI pan, but it's still a minute and a half quicker than the Sensarte pans. Even though I prefer to cook with the OXO pan, this GSI pan is still a great pan. The one thing we forgot to mention is look at the angle of the handle. That's also probably another reason why I'll grab the other pan first. It just has a very high angle of attack when it comes to grabbing the pan. But this 8-inch size is really great. It nests inside our other one pretty good. So let's get some stuff cooking up for lunch. And we're pretty excited about this because we also have an outdoor tripod that we can cook over the campfire, and having these pans gives us that ability to be able to cook over the fire. You can even stick it right onto the fire. Plus we have also been using briquettes a lot lately, and you can stick that right over briquettes as well. This pan's on high right now and it's just like throwing oil everywhere. So this is where I would go, let's set it at 300 instead. It just takes a different type of cooking. So when you get your first carbon steel pan, just start low and work your way up. We picked up the OXO pan from Amazon. We actually picked up the GSI pan from REI. So if you've never used a carbon steel pan before, you're just kind of curious, you can go to REI and check them out. Otherwise, we will also have a link down to this pan down in the description below. You can go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.